welcome back to the channel. I've had horses in my life since I was a young girl, and yet I still feel like an imposter in the horse world. I wasn't born into a horse family. I was born on a cattle ranch, but we did not have horses. We moved our cattle, worked cattle on foot or with pickups and quads. My first pony was the first pony to step on our ranch as my family being owners of that land. We literally never had horses. I think everyone associates having horses as part of having a ranch, but that was not the case for us. And once I got that horse, everything that I know about horses now, I've had to piece together on my own. I've had lessons from various people, I've read different books, I've, sourced various people and places and things to learn about horses to form what is now my body of knowledge that I have about horses. And even now, after having decades with horses, when I post a video online, I still catch myself saying, who am I to share this? If you've ever felt like an outsider in the horse world, I'm right there with you, and this video is for you. I think a lot of the imposter syndrome in the horse world comes from how hierarchical it is. There are people who were born into this. Multi-generational rancher families, trainers' kids, people who have literally never known a life without horses. They were, quote unquote, born on a horse. And then there's people like me, people who fell in love with horses and have had to piece together things little by little on their own. No shortcuts, no built-in mentors, just learning as I went, oftentimes learning the hard way. And being in that position can kind of make you feel like you're behind, even if you're not. My horsemanship hasn't come from one trainer or one system. It's come from trial and error, from being humbled by horses more times than I can count, from doing things wrong and then learning to do them better. I've grabbed bits of piece of information from here, there, and everywhere. From leaders in my 4-H club, and also just from various instructors and coaches that I've hired along the way. I definitely haven't always known the right way, but I've been willing to learn. And I think that willingness to learn counts for a lot more than people realize. Posting horse content on the internet brings this all up and highlights it again for me. There's this little voice when I go to post something saying, who do you think you are? There's trainers that are way more knowledgeable. There's horse people who know way better than you about this stuff. Who do you think you are to be trying to teach people about these things? I will be honest, there's definitely more experienced trainers, horse people, competitive riders who know way more about various horse things than I do. But that doesn't invalidate what I've learned. It doesn't invalidate what I've lived and my 20 plus years of experience with horses. And I think that's really how I try to portray my content. I don't try to come across as an expert. I try to provide information based on my personal experiences and what I'm going through with my horses. You're not going to see me talking about things related to horses that I have zero experience with. I'll talk about doing groundwork because I have experience with that. I have a video coming up about shivers because my horse is currently going through shivers. So I'm going to share my experience with that because I do think that there's value in sharing that. I'm definitely not here to be the loudest voice or the ultimate authority on horses. I'm here to share what's worked for me, what I'm still learning, and definitely what I wish I would have known sooner. The horse world can be very intimidating. And I think that is because a lot of people come off as very confident. And I think we often associate confidence with expertise, which that might be the case, but it's not always the case. People who talk loud and definitive, we kind of tend to just think they're right. They just come across as someone who knows what they're talking about. They say things with such conviction, but again, that may not be the case. If you're more thoughtful and reflective and still asking questions about the things you have going on with your horses, it can make you feel like you don't belong. But I would say asking questions and reflecting on your experiences is a sign of good horsemanship. I've realized that the very thing that makes me question myself, just caring deeply about doing right by the horse, is actually what makes me a good horse person. Imposter syndrome usually shows up in people who care, and the ones that don't question themselves, they're often the ones that should. If you didn't grow up in a horse family, if you feel like you don't belong, if you feel behind, if you're constantly comparing yourself to people who seem more established or more confident, you are not alone. And you're not an imposter. You belong here too. I'm sharing this because this is definitely something that I carry with me and kind of eats away at me, especially here now. I'm batching a bunch of content, and every time I hit post, I just, like I said, I feel that little voice saying, who am I to be posting about my horses on the internet? But I need to remind myself, I belong here just like anyone else. It doesn't matter if you're a gold medal equestrian or some world-renowned clinician, or if you're just a trail rider who rides their horse. Like, all of us are welcome and belong here in the horse world, and that's what makes the horse world. I think the important thing for me is just to feel like I'm constantly growing, I'm learning from my experiences, I'm continuing to respect my horses, and fully acknowledge that I will forever be a student of the horse, because no one ever knows every single thing there is to know about horses. I'm still learning, I always will be, and I'm okay with that. Just some food for thought today. I feel like this is a little bit of a different video today, but I hope it resonated with you guys. I'm sure there may be some of you who are listening or watching to this who can totally relate to feeling like an imposter or an outsider in the horse industry. I don't know what it is, but it is definitely a thing. The horse industry is siloed and in some cases cliquey and feels like there's a lot of gatekeeping. It doesn't need to be that way. And if you're feeling those feelings that I've expressed in this video today, just know you're not alone. You belong here, and I see you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. And until next time, remember, it's always a good day to ride.